can't believe I'm doing this or saying this because whew, yeah, I'm going to be making a video on how basically I'm apparently evil and I'm apparently Archon controlled. Well, you cannot win, can you? So I'm kind of pissed off because my channel and my videos and my blogs, everything I've done for the last 10 years has been on doing nothing but trying to show the truth on what is. And instead I've received a lot of attacks from trolls and other people for apparently being evil. Now, if I'm evil, then what the heck is Billy Gates? Or Hilarious Clinton and co? Like, if I'm evil, then what the hell is the government, or are the governments doing in each and every single country? That's what I don't get. Like, when I was 3-4 years old, my own mother called me Hitler, Stalin, and Mussolini. I was too young to even understand such concepts. I was like, who's Hitler? Who's Stalin? Who's Mussolini? I later found out and thought, geez, I'm not like that. Like, I don't believe anybody deserves to be, like, tortured or killed or blah blah blah. That's just messed up. But good old Billy Gates and Melinda and co, well, they believe that some people are above others and those people are superior to other people. And if you haven't heard already, that is called eugenics. Nobody likes to talk about it. It's demonized, no one deals with it. But I found blogs and websites on this topic and it's been around since the dawn of time. It just so happens that some people believe some races are superior to others, which I do not believe in. Like, I don't really want to even think about that. Like, comparing apples to pears to pineapples is pointless. But to then decide that pineapples deserve to be gassed, or lemons deserve to be vaccinated, or peaches must be eradicated is a form of eugenics. Don't you get it? Everything you have been taught in high school and college is essentially wrong. It's all about political correctness. It's all about appearances. It's all about virtue signaling. But it's never about what is right. What is truly right beyond appearances. What is right in times of desperation. And what is right despite what others say. I'm sure Gandhi made a quote on that. Something about, like, standing your own ground when everyone's against you. But yeah, I'm really, like, basically pissed off. Because here I am, a nobody YouTuber. I'm a nobody, and I just want to tell the truth without being censored. Because apparently anything you say that is too controversial will get you taken down. And in this day and age, that could be anything, considering YouTube and a bazillion other apps owned by Googly and co. I can't speak the truth. And if you're familiar with something called shadow banning, that is a thing. And I've experienced it nearly a decade before people started to complain about it. Even before David Dyke. Yes, I'm using silly names. I'm using code words somewhat, so I don't get censored. But I'm just doing what rhymes and what is the most coherent. But I've been talking about shadow banning before David Dyke, before a lot of these conspiracy theorists, I have been shadow banned, and I was told to take it to the WHO. Now let's just say I'm talking about the band, the WHO, which my own mother personally met. But I'm not going to get into that story tonight. Yeah. So my dad was in the music industry, and my mum just kind of kept bumping into famous people randomly. Because back in the 80s, everybody could just walk into famous people. Nowadays, the divide between famous people and normal people is this big. It just doesn't exist. Like, there is no... You can't just, like, hang out with anybody anymore. You can't just be of this class hanging out with that class. So we've sort of... The West is now, on a subtle level, has sort of become a self-fulfilling prophecy where they emulate the Indian caste system, essentially. You know, the differences between the Brahmins and the people at the bottom. I forgot what they call them, but you get the idea, right? And why can I speak so much on this? Because I'm biracial, and I have a very confusing mulatto background, which most of you don't give a damn about. Neither do I. But I have done enough research and extensive studies on different cultures to know that caste systems still exist. The glass ceiling still exists. And that if there's such a thing as racism, it's not obvious. It's not like nobody points fingers and say, oh, you know, so-and-so is that colour. Oh, let's mock them. It's never obvious. It's far from obvious. And you know what's disgusting and hypocritical is if myself or a friend of mine who is biracial also, if you dye your hair platinum blonde, guess what happens? People smile at you in stores. People are super polite to you. They hold the doors open for you. They tell you how amazing you look. They want to hang out with you. They laugh, they giggle, they coo. But when you have jet black hair and hairy jet black eyebrows bordering onto a monobrow, because let's just say you inherited some really weird genes where you naturally have a monobrow and you have to pluck your goddamn monobrow, then all of a sudden people kind of either A, scowl at you, look extremely serious towards you, don't hold doors open for you, and certainly do not smile at you. But the minute you dye hair platinum blonde, or any other ridiculous colour for that matter, people are just so nice. It's disgusting. Like, the way people treat you on the basis of how you dress and your hair colour and your skin colour is so absurd. Absolutely absurd. It's 2021 and we are now worried about bacteria and certain other things affecting our lives, whilst meanwhile the economy is being crashed. Maybe purposely, dare I say it. But I'm not allowed to say that, because apparently saying that makes me the bad guy. I'm wrong for saying something, you know, for each economic crash, right? For every war, they were done on purpose to make money. Google petrodollar. Do I have to like say this to you? Apparently me saying all these key terms makes me evil or an Archon, or makes me a spy, God forbid, you know? Or Fed. I've been mistaken for Fed. What an absolute joke. I was a teacher in East Asia in my early 20s, not even quite, I was in my late teens. I've seen what communist countries do. I've seen how people live in different countries. I've travelled the world. My friends, almost all my friends within the UK were not even English, but were technically considered, I guess you could say, immigrants. But did I see them as that? No, I saw them as individual human beings. I don't judge people on the basis of where they come from and who they are and what their race is or their class is or how much money they earn or how much money they don't earn and who they descend from. Because apparently, I've been told I descend from William the Conqueror and Blue Bloods, so by that standard, I am supposed to have some special elite background, but I have nothing to show for it. How do I know that? It's called being raised in poverty. First world poverty. I'm rich in that I'm able to say this right now as I'm making this video, and hopefully I'll be able to upload this without being attacked. But just so you know, there are certain people online that either get paid or through some strange, mysterious reason feel compelled to attack people who tell the truth. They go out their own way. They don't have their own videos, so they're not content creators. They don't do anything. They will even give themselves crazy names like Agent Smith or strange things like that, like they're living in the Matrix, right? And then they will attack you, and they'll stab you where it hurts. They'll pick and they'll pick and they'll pick. What happens if you keep like hitting a donkey or poking a donkey over and over again, or a horse? Eventually it's going to kick you, if you've ever considered that. Torture does not work on high functioning individuals. Good luck with that. Seriously. If anybody ever researches the abilities of people that are high functioning autistic individuals, to brainwash them is immensely hard. How do I know this? Because I am one, and I've read about others, because they are hyper aware of normie culture and the social norm of how they brainwash people, whether it be in religion, society, schools, jobs. And you don't have to be autistic to notice that, honestly. All you have to be is more aware. Just conscious enough to notice that something is not quite right in this society. Something is not quite right from the day you're born, from the day you're old enough to remember your childhood memories, whether it be 2 years old or 5 years old or 10 years old. God forbid you're a late bloomer, but yeah, if you can remember those memories, your earliest memories, and have an inkling of how something was not quite right as a child, you're probably onto something. That's called being a child, and it's called being intuitive, and it's called being a pure. Before society destroys your natural intuition and says, oh, it's just you having a vivid imagination. Oh, you're very imaginative. Oh, you're paranoid. Oh, you're schizophrenic. That is a form of brainwashing, and something called gaslighting, and something called, well, it's just invalidating your experience as a child. God forbid, you're 4 years old or 5 years old, you wake up, you run downstairs to your own parents, or mother specifically, and say to them, I saw you watching TV, and I could fly through the walls, and when I tried to turn the light on, my hand went through the switch. They will just look at you saying, what are you on about? You're insane, you're crazy, you're schizophrenic. Imagine me 4 years old. I've googled the symptoms of schizophrenia, and I do not have one or any of those symptoms since ever. But I've been misdiagnosed by doctors and my own parents and people in my family for having an overly vivid imagination for things I have witnessed, things that are facts. I don't just meander around and if I see a fork, I'm not going to say it's a knife. A fork's a fork, a knife's a knife. I don't hear voices. But I have had weird, I guess you could say, interdimensional experiences. Experiences like you cannot explain in words in a tangible form without being misconstrued as clinically insane or a crackpot or just nuts or using illogical thought processes. And don't get me started on the concept of logic, because I was raised on the belief that I had to communicate on the basis of logical fallacies. So if I say this, that's wrong. If I say that, that's wrong. If I say any this or the other, it's wrong. Now here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with learning how to debate, and there's nothing wrong with learning what a logical fallacy is. But when you're taught that everything you say is wrong, and then there are two weights and two measures, that, my friends, is called narcissistic abuse of the most psychologically intrusive, subtle kind. It's just disgusting. And I am not going to shut up just because I get the odd one or two trolls, or because so-and-so says this or that, because they see my Achilles heel and they say, how can I trigger this person? Well, screw you. Seriously. Do you have anything better to do? Go read your stupid blogs on eugenics. Whatever. This world is a mess. And I am not going to just ignore it. I'm not going to help people from this point onwards. I'm not going to try and force my beliefs and ideologies on others, but I'm not going to stay quiet either. I refuse to stay quiet. Did you know that the African slaves, right? They had to wear masks covering their faces hooked around their ears. Doesn't that sound oddly familiar? I'm not saying what's going on is false either. What I'm just trying to say is, I'm just trying to bring up the possibility that your logic is on the basis of manipulation and brainwashing. And there's more to what meets the eye. And that all these adverts and these billboards and the things you see in the media are kind of lies, essentially. Like, yeah, sure, it's good to be hygienic. Yeah, it's good to have common sense. Yeah, I'm all for that. You know, the hygiene regarding hand wash and face masks? Guess what? I had face masks and antibacterial hand washes about nearly a decade prior to this outbreak. Why? Because you can get sick when you touch things that are being used by the community, say like buses, public transport, public, keyboards when you're working and all that stuff in programming. Yeah, you better want to wash your hands. Like, it's just logical. And then so by the time you get home, you take off those clothes because they stink of pollution. If you live in a high density area or in an industrial area, it stinks. It's disgusting. And when it rains, it becomes even worse. You can smell the pollution leaching off these people's clothes or your loved ones' clothes as they walk through the door. Like the petrol fumes and all that. And the masks. I was wearing a mask to avoid histamine and pollution particles going into my sinuses years and years before this happened. So I'm not saying that's normal, that we should all wear masks, but the way people are going about it is very, 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 very strange. The fact we don't question anything, the fact we live in fear. Does nobody have the balls anymore to tell the truth? I'm pissed off. And now the only solution is, get a therapist. Yeah, I'm getting therapy. Tons of it. Thank you very much. And I'm finding out I'm not the one with an issue. but most of society is. The whole structure of society is just dysregulated, like an immune system with issues, like a hormonal balance problem. Gaia as a planet is going through so much crap, and we are going through a divergency, if that's a word, of where on one hand New Agers are saying just pray for the new Earth, and then meanwhile we've got people saying there's people dying in parks every second according to the police. Where are the dead people? I'm not saying people are not dying, but please do your research. And yes, Google, like you can't even yeah, like you can't even use regular search engines anymore. Don't get me started on that. So yeah, I feel like an insane person, and excuse me if I keep rubbing my chin because I just ate a stir fry with some teriyaki sauce and I'm pissed. Like, ever since I was a small child, like, regardless of religion or denominations, Christian denominations, I don't give a damn. Really, I just don't. But I believe there's such a thing as a truth, and nothing but the truth. Outside of religion, surprisingly. I'm thinking of actually reviewing tried and tested religions I've experimented with. Yes, every single one of them. Like, I tried Hinduism for a week, or I tried Christianity for a week, and I tried Islam for a week. I am far from being unfamiliar with certain world religions. Again, I've traveled the world. Most of my friends came from different cultures and backgrounds. I don't have anybody I can sort of really relate to on a close level, but I mean, apart from maybe like a few friends, like is really close knit, and even then, can I prove them as real? I don't know. So I guess I'm just feeling insecure. But yeah, I'm annoyed. And about the Archon thing, for those of you that believe in that concept, you've got to realize that if you are living on planet Earth, you are under Archon control naturally. Society, religion from Latin, which means to delegate. A military sort of term. Like, it's just ridiculous. What else can I say? Yes, okay, with Archons. Okay, if you know stuff about narcissism, good for you. That's one topic. Look into that in itself. But then you have the concept of Archons and Gnosticism and blah blah blah. Look into that as well. Because one, I don't know if it's an Archon control thing, but what happens is you project onto the person. Let's say it's me, and instead of seeing me, you will see somebody else with this like overlay, this interface of somebody that is not me. And you will say, this person is AI, this person is a bot, this person is blah blah blah. Even if I was hypothetically one of those, it's wrong to say, that person is that, because you're in a stage of judgment. To just judge automatically and attack somebody is not exactly helpful for raising human consciousness. I mean, like, let's play devil's advocate. If I was a bot, if I was on the bad guy's side of the cabal, well, it's kind of sad, because what if one of those beings on the bad guy's side, or was an android or a bot or blah blah blah, had a state of consciousness and they were the minority report? Are they wrong for trying to break out of their confinements, their boundaries of their existence, of what they were taught to do so? No. They're exponentially growing by choosing to break out of those confinements. But people, unfortunately, just see it as like, oh, this person's provocative, oh, this person's insane, oh, this person's a faker. It's just like, get over yourself. Seriously, I'm just so sick of it. Like, no doubt, some of you, like, somebody's gonna like just say, oh, you're wrong. Let me dislike your video. Let me just like make a comment saying your hair looks blah blah, it sucks, or your face sucks, or you look ugly, or you look trans, or you look this, or you look that. Give me a break. Trolls, do what you want. Like, seriously. I don't have time for this. It's 2021, and there's a certain portion of the human population, including scientists, that have been saying since 2014 and 2015, like scientists from the UK and in America, who've been saying there will be a pole shift. It might not be like super extreme, but like the pole shift is sort of like moving rapidly somewhere into the middle of Russia. Do I need to explain more? Think of a pole shift. Even if you don't believe in that stuff, it's a bunch of magnets sort of moving around, and when magnets move around, it creates an electromagnetic interference, which affects the journeys of birds, the way animals act, the way humans act, and world events, and how people behave. And there are some ancient astronaut people, some astronomers, some astrologers, some conspiracy theorists that have been saying for maybe over 7 years now, it's not just about global warming, it's about global, interplanetary global warming. Does that make sense? So it's not just Earth, it's like Jupiter, Mars, Saturn, etc., that are starting to overheat, and the storms are getting really like vicious in the last, I don't know, 100 or so years, and things are getting crazy. And yet people are just like, oh, it's global warming, oh, CO2 levels, cows' farts are producing too many negative energies, and methane, and blah blah, and like plastic pollution. I'm not saying it's all false. Keep that in mind. Like, I actually do think we're creating a lot of pollution and problems, but it's not just a human collective issue, it's a galactic solar system issue that quite a few people, such as David Wilcock and many other people, have been trying to elaborate on, but people said, oh no, they're just crazy conspiracy theorists. I mean, what should I do? Say nothing? Fart in a bottle? Excuse my bad sense of humor. Like, when I was a child, I thought sarcasm was my middle name age 10. I've realized sarcasm is a really piss poor sense of humor, especially if you've grown up in a narcissistic family. But let's go beyond that, right? Humor and satire is sort of like philosophy or comedy for the soul. Like, without that, we are not nothing, but we are not made of just molecules. We are not just made of facts and statistics. We are not just based off our family history. We are not just based on our race. We are not just based of facts and what our report cards say or driver's license say. We are far grander and bigger and more relevant than we believe we are. We are, I don't want to say we are gods, but we're at the level of, we have a lot of power and influence to change reality if we want to, but instead we're too scared over the simplest things. Like, people are too busy worrying over losing their car keys and how much taxes they pay. Like, really? Is that all we've resulted in? Like, my homepage showed a video of an ASMR video, ASMR cat spa video. No, there's nothing wrong with that. And the cat had a face mask. It's absolutely hilarious. But it's just like, come on, like, we're going through a sort of quantum leap or civilization change And this is what people are worrying about, like TikTok fad videos and ASMR cat videos or whatever. Seriously, like, the world is so much more than you believe. Just look at the sky for once. Turn off your phone. Look at the goddamn sky. And you can say, well, it's cloudy. Look at the sky when it's not cloudy. Like, really look. When it feels clear, just stop looking at your damn phone. It's like, just there's so much more than technology. And technology is very useful. And we're now entering into the age of Aquarius, which means like technology will be in place and will serve a very important purpose in our human development. Now, I'm not saying we should all become transhumanists, but technology is going to help solve a lot of our problems. But it's also going to create new problems. So we have to keep that in mind. But at the end of the day, we are not computers. The human brain, they say, is like a computer. But the, what's the word? The energetic field of the human heart is far stronger than the mind, the brain. Like, the brain is just, it's kind of just like 1 + 1. It just tells us, you know, what to do, where to go. It's sort of like pretty much linear. But then the human heart, that combined with the mind, you have superpowers. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, it creates a giant torus field. In other words, just Google it, torus field, like a giant donut shape. And it's far stronger, it's far bigger than the human mind. And same with planet Earth. Like, the Earth has a magnetosphere that is in a torus shape or donut shape that is much bigger than the actual planet Earth. So, yeah, that's my rant for the day. Enjoy letting me know what you think in the comments, and if you think that what I'm saying is relevant or a load of crap, I don't know, just like let me know in the comments. If you're interested, then subscribe to my channel. I have nothing to lose at this point. Like, the world is, I don't want to say it's messed up, but I just like helped a kid. Like, I look young, but when I say kid, this guy was in his 20s and he was the same age as my younger brother, and I really felt for him. He was on the verge of tears. He was homeless. He couldn't get help for housing because precisely he is not a drug addict and he is not pregnant because he is a man. So it really breaks my heart when people are not getting help and people are being used by the system or kind of just being pushed to the side because they don't tick certain boxes of this so-called matrix. Really drives me mad. Really drives me insane. I did the best I could. And that's that. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, whatever, blah blah blah. And as you can see, I'm quite pissed off based on the t-shirts I'm wearing, which I've had for quite a while. I don't even know like how I still have this t-shirt. But anyway, yeah. Thanks. Bye.